Hello and welcome to the Unit 4 Section 6 video on standard form for linear functions. So when we talk about standard form, we're talking about a linear function that takes the form of ax plus by equals c. Okay, that's what it's going to be looking like. The variable terms, or your x and y terms, are going to be on the left, and your constant is going to be on the right. So your constant is just your number that does not have a variable with it. So the degree of x and y have to be 1, okay? Otherwise it would not be a linear function. And a is always going to be positive. We're always going to lead this thing with a positive term. So if you had a negative term to begin out with, then you would have to multiply everything by -1 to make the first term positive. So in this example, 3x plus 4y equals 12, a equals 3, b equals 4, and c equals 12. Okay? So let's talk about what it is to graph by finding the intercepts. So first you're going to find the x-intercept. X-intercepts have a y value of 0. So you're going to plug in 0 for y and solve for x. Then you'll plot the point. So let's go over here. If we plug in 0 for y, you're going to get x minus 0 equals -3. So x is -3. So our x-intercept is -3. We're going to plot that point. Then you're going to find the y-intercept. Y-intercepts have a value, or an x value, of 0. So you're going to plug in 0 for x and solve for y. And then you'll plot this point. So over here, we've got 0 minus y equals -3. So you're going to have -y equals -3, and so y equals 3. So that's your y-intercept. And then once you have both of those, you're going to draw your line through those 2 points using your ruler or straight edge and connect the points. Now there is a shortcut for doing this, and that is to set each variable equal to the constant, which is essentially what we did here. Set them equal to the constant and solve. But you need to be careful with the negative signs, okay? Just like you saw here, 0 minus y equals -3. If we remove the x and just do the y, you have that negative in front of the y, so you have to carry that -y equals -3 and then solve by multiplying each side by -1 or dividing each side by -1, and that gives us y equals 3. So let's do a few examples of this method of graphing with standard form. So here, let's use the shortcut. We're going to set 2x equal to -4. So x, when we divide each side by 2, gives us -2, because -4 divided by 2 is -2. We can also set -y equal to -4, so y would be 4. So our x-intercept is -2, our y-intercept is 4, and so we can graph our line between these 2 points. All right, for this one, we're going to set 3x equal to 12. We're going to set 4y, let's solve that first. Divide each side by 3, and you get x equals 4. You also have 4y equals 12. Divide each side by 4, and you get y equals 3. So you have an x-intercept of 4, a y-intercept of 3, and you're going to plot your line through those points. Okay, for the next one, we have 2x equals 6. Divide each side by 2, and you get x equals 3. You have negative 3y equals 6. Divide each side by negative 3, and you get negative 2. So our x-intercept is 3, our y-intercept is negative 2, and we are going to plot our line through there. And then finally we have 5x equals negative 10. Divide each side by 5 and you get x equals negative 2. You have negative 2y equals negative 10. Divide each side by negative 2 and you get y equals 5. So x is negative 2, y is 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. And we draw our line through that. Now, the question poses, because everything comes out nice and even, what if we couldn't solve for the intercepts? So for example, let's try this one. We have 6x equals negative 25. So x is going to be negative 25 over 6 when we divide each side by 6. Then we have 5y equals negative 25. Well, that one comes out nice and even. Y is negative 5, but the x didn't come out even. So what do I do about this? Well, we're going to have to go to another method to take care of this. So in this other method, we are going to graph lines in standard form using slope-intercept form, which means we are going to rearrange the equation to get it into a form that we are more familiar with working with. So what you're going to do is you're going to solve the equation for y, which means you're going to get y by itself on one side. So you're going to subtract the x term on both sides, and then you're going to divide the entire equation by the coefficient of y. And then you'll simplify and graph using the slope-intercept steps. Okay, so let's solve this. You're going to subtract 6x from each side, and when you do, you want to get this to look like y equals mx plus b, so you need to put your x term in front, like this. Then we're going to divide every term by 5. And that gives us y equals negative 6/5 x minus 5. Okay? And we just saw that the y-intercept is negative 5 when we tried doing it by using 2 points. So our y-intercept is negative 5, and our slope is negative 6 over 5. So that we can't go down 6, but we'll have to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll go to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so there's our second point, and we're going to plot our line through these 2 points. And that's how we will achieve graphing it that way. So let's do a few examples where we have to solve for the slope-intercept form. So for this one, we have 3x minus y equals 5. We're going to subtract 3x from each side. So that's going to give us negative y equals negative 3x plus 5. And then we're going to divide everything by negative 1. And that will give us y equals 3x minus 5. So negative 5 is our y-intercept. 3 is our slope, so rise of 3. 1, 2, 3. run of 1, rise of 3, run of 1, rise of 3, run of 1. And we can plot our graph through our points. For the next one, we have 6x plus y equals negative 5. Well, all we've got to do is subtract 6x from each side. And that's going to give us y equals negative 6x minus 5. So again, y-intercept of negative 5. And then our slope is negative 6. Well, we can't go down, so we'll have to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then back 1. And then we're going to go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can't really do that again, so we'll go ahead and draw our line through what we have. All right, let's head on over to the next example. So for this one, we have x minus 2y equals negative 4. If we subtract x from each side, we get negative 2y equals negative x minus 4. Divide everything by negative 2, and you're going to get 1/2 x. And then negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. So now we are going to plot our y-intercept, which is 2. And we're going to do our slope. Rise of 1, run of 2. Rise of 1, run of 2. Rise of 1, run of 2. We can go the other way with it as well. And that will give us a nice line that goes through like this. For the next one, we have 3x plus 5y equals 15. So if we subtract 3x from each side, that's going to give us 5y equals negative 3x plus 15. Divide each side by 5. Get y equals negative 3/5 x plus 3. So our y-intercept is 3. We'll put that there. And our slope is negative 3 over 5. So run down of 3, run to the rise down of 3, run to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there on the x-axis. We can rise 3 and we can go left 5 as well. And we'll plot our line. For the next one, we have 5x minus 2y equals negative 6. Subtract 5x from each side, you get negative 2y equals negative 5x minus 6. And divide everything by negative 2, and you're going to get positive 5 over 2x plus 3. So 3 is our y-intercept. Our rise is going to be 5, so we're going to have to go down 5 and run of 2. So we'll have to go to the left 2. And that's the only 2 points we can do. So our line is going to be through here. Remember, use a straight edge, use a ruler to connect these. All right, this example, we've got 7x minus 4y equals 12. So we're going to subtract 7x from each side. And then we're going to divide by negative 4. So that's going to give us positive 7 over 4x minus 3. So our y-intercept's negative 3. And we are going to have a rise of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a run of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we will plot our line through those points. Let me get it just a little bit more accurate here. There we go. So this is how we take care of graphing when we're presented with an equation in standard form. So now we have seen three different forms: slope-intercept, point-slope, and standard form. We know how to graph with them. We know how to determine slope. We know how to determine y-intercepts. We know how to determine when there's a point involved. So we are now going to take all of these skills that we have learned, and we're going to take it to the next step in the next section, where we go from graphing equations, which is what we've been doing these last three sections. We're now going to graph inequalities, linear inequalities, and that's coming up in section 7.